G'day everyone. It's been a pretty rough start to Season 3. A lot of changes happened between Season 2 and Season 3. And my mindset coming into Season 3, since I did so well in Season 2, was I'm going to smash everything in the game and it's going to be easy. That was not the case this time. I leveled through the campaign really easily. It was really comfortable. The new crafting system works super well in the start of the game. When you first get to maps, it's also really good. Once you get to about time mark 5 is when I really started to slow down to a grinding halt. So mapping is pretty much the same as it was before. You go through some notable cards which seem to be the best is the chance for Netherrealm Resonance to drop. Currently, you can sell about 80 Netherrealm Resonance for 3 3 Flame Elementium. So this is almost one Flame Elementium every time it triggers. Inside the maps there are Malice Incantations and Malice Judges. For this game, they act as boss monsters. So all of your on-boss drops can trigger from those enemies. So this will trigger, you'll get 2 extra beacons from those monsters. It's not a legendary one, but bosses drop 2 additional embers. That'll trigger. And yeah, so mapping is basically the same. It is much harder this league because it is much harder to craft good gear. So that's pretty much it. The Traveler is pretty hard. There are no Infinity belts anymore because Pedigree of the Gods has replaced Infinity. The rest of the drops are pretty much the same as they were. Winter of Origin comes from here. However, it's an extremely low drop rate. And a bad one, which is what I have, is about 200 Flame Elementium at the moment, which is absolutely insane. But I guess it's kind of early. I don't know. Prices of things are bonkers. Onto Heart of Rapacity. In here, you have Divinity Slates. This is low level. When you refresh, it's free to refresh. Item level 80. These have 6 crafting options. Item level 85 has 9. And item level 90 have 12. So this is unlocked when you get level 95. I highly suggest that you get to 95 before you start buying these. I bought heaps of these and they were absolute garbage. You may as well just save up and get level 95 first. Just grind tier 7 maps until you get level 95. Onto the Avarice. Alrighty, the best path in Avarice Code that I have seen is to go Desire Hunter into Unexpected Harvest. Festering Evil, 6% increased chance for Malice Incarnations in the stage. They seem to appear every second map with this one. It's really good. Desire Incarnations in the stage have a chance to replicate. I've only had this twice. So this 6% plus 6% chance is much, much higher than 19. A Deacon, I've only had that once. Greatly increased Incarnation, but also much better drops into The final one, which is 20% chance for a judge to be in the map. Judges drop a minimum of 300 beads, which is really good. If I get another decree, I'll probably go down into Malevolent Incarnation instead, and then get Bounty of Greed. If you don't know how long it's going to take to get another point, you click over here on the 0, and it says I need to do another 834 maps, which is, that's a map or two, and I'll get another one. So when you're mapping, it's like every 20 or 50 or, I don't know, something like that. It's not 800. It's obviously meant to be enough to get to one of the paths. I had this once, but the cube at the end is super RNG, and it was still garbage, even with 300 crystals. Cube of Rapacity, again, the chance of getting the extra judge and the extra incarnations far outweighs the cube, in my opinion, because they trigger all your boss kill things. Onto the trade house. Alright, the trade house. Same setup as last season. You can search for more things this time because of pedigree of the gods, having so many different things. You need to be able to search for what you want. Currently, I'm selling Flame Elementium for 120 energy cores because that gives you about 99 after tax. And then I'm selling 99 energy cores for 3 Flame Elementium. So basically every time that happens, I triple my Flame Elementium. It's not much, but it's a little bit at this point in the league. I was trying to sell stuff like this, which is probably a decent pace for crafting, for way too much. So I've started to lower the prices a lot. That's a reasonable starting one. I had it up for like 50 or 80 Flame Elementium, but really I just need to get to the next milestone item. So instead of being greedy with my sales, I just need the sales to happen. Kind of like this one. The Tenacity ones seem to be 200 Flame Elementium minimum. I'm like, oh, Tenacity and Formidable Power, that seems really awesome. That should be worth 350. I put it up for 350. Didn't sell. Didn't sell for 250. Hasn't sold for 200. 150. I'll just keep going down by 50 every few hours until it sells, because I just need the next item. Yeah, so try not to be too greedy with your sales so they actually happen. There's not much point just having items in here for the sake of having items in here. As you can see, Entity Cores are selling pretty well. Netherrealm Resonance, there we go. So every time that card triggers, you're getting 5 resonance short of a Flame Elementium. Proof of the Brave 3, I'll get to that. This is what I am doing today. If you don't know how to search the trade house, actually let's just go on to crafting gear. So this is what I have wasted. And I'm going to say wasted because crafting last season was so much easier. Getting gear this season. Protection rings are really good, and I want a res. Let's go with fire res and plasticity of 100. Oops. Return to search. I want tier 1 fire res. There's no real cheap ones. Let's go with 45. 4. It's not tier 1, but it'll do for this example. So I would normally only buy the ones that are like 1, 2, and 3 flame elementium. This one's 15. Anyway, it's got 100 plasticity, which is the first crafting type, which is going to re-roll everything on here, pretty much like the, I think they were reincarnation embers, except you can lock one affix. So we'll buy that for 4 flame elementium. Go down to the crafting guy. You can hit craft, find the item, select, and then you can lock any 2 of high level items that you want. If you lock 1, it's going to cost 3 flame sand and 1 ember. If I lock a second, it's going to start costing flame elementium, which is insane. It's not as insane as targeted processing. That is absolute garbage. It's the worst idea I've ever seen. How I think they could improve this is remove the plasticity. Just remove it. Just allow people to keep re-rolling. You're still re-rolling. Completely random. But now, if you get down to 0 plasticity and you've got a garbage item, it's still a garbage item. And if you hit a couple of items that you want, and then you go to a null with the new fossils, which randomly removes an affix, you might remove one of the 2 that you've got, and then your items just throw it in the bin. It's just a complete waste. So anyway, we've locked the one that we want. We want to keep this craft cheap. We don't want to start spending flame elementium right now because max mana is not that great anyway. Flame sand and an ember. We've got 10% movement speed. I mean, none of that's really good anyway. Got crit strike rating. None of that's really good. None of that's good. None of that's good. None of that's good. 14% minion damage. 30% lightning res. But that minion damage is low and you can enchant on much better. We basically just want decent resistances because it's a ring. We want decent res. Even that erosion res, it's not good. Keep trying. We've got 7 tries left. 6, 5. So that's what we got. That's the end of plasticity crafting. Life, regen, fire res, and crit strike rating. It's not horrible if you had a Warden's breast pin. I don't, so crit strike rating does nothing for me right now. Alright, so that's what we've got. Now we can go to targeted processing, and this is going to cost 2 flame elementium, 6 embers, who cares, 20 flame sand. At this stage, who cares? Early on, flame sand is not, I kept running out of flame sand just doing prototype crafting. Now that I've started Proof of the Brave, I'm getting a lot of these 2. So now it's going to cost 2 flame elementium per attempt. Now the if you go to something like, oh, we can't get it on this. So I can't see it here, but if you're crafting for minion plus minion skills, the options are like, let me see if I can find one. Can't find one because I don't want to remove the enchant that I have. Anyway, it was like chance to get minion damage. I think it might have been minion damage. Was a 0.1% chance And a chance to get these other two absolute garbage enchants that you would never want was 45%. At 2 flame elementium per attempt, that means you have to average about 500 attempts to get any tier of minion damage, which is a disgrace. And polish, 10 times the chance to get 10 times 10 times the cost to get 10 times the chance for tier 1 and tier 2 affixes. That sounds really good, except I did that once and I got a tier 6. That is disgraceful. This was an end game crafting cost last season when you were doing Ominous and Restless. And now it's just any, which is targeted processing is an utter disgrace. Remove this cost and maybe it'd be even this cost. That's 10 crafts. I can do 3. Last season it would be an average of 500 crafts for 1 tier 1 affix. The cost of targeted processing is way too high. Anyway, now you do prototype crafting, you get relatively okay items. Like this was about 1 flame elementium worth of crafting last season. We want to enchant this item, go through what we have. I can get erosion resistance for 10 flame sand, which is a really good price. I only got 20, 19, 20, 20. Give me 21. There we go. It was just 10 flame sand per attempt, so you might as well just keep re-rolling until you get the highest percentage that you can. Is that item better than what I'm wearing? Probably not, but does it have minion damage, fire res, lightning res? I definitely need the lightning res, so it's not worth using, but all up that was about 5 or 6 flame elementium cost, which last league would have got you something really decent. Now looking at the rest of my gear, it's so bad because it is so expensive to craft. This is probably okay-ish. Like, it's not good. None of my gear is good. I bought this for 150 flame elementium, and last league it was 5 to 6 additional stacks. Now it's 3 to 4. 5 to 6 with a corrosion. If you get 5 to 6 corrosion, then this goes up to let's see, 700 to 1,000. You get a 6, 1,000 flame elementium for something that was about 5 flame elementium last season. It's crazy. Anyway, as for what I'm doing, I got level 95. I was still caring about XP for a little bit, but now I don't care about XP. I care about getting items that will enable my build. So Path of the Brave 1, you saw earlier I was buying them for less than 1 flame elementium each. You can get to these. I do about 60 million DPS, which is below entry level last season. It's really bad. It doesn't feel good. However, with some deaths, you can do Path of the Brave 1 in this build. I'll quickly look at the build. Pretty standard maniacal army because I don't have the +1. Automated second one. blink with magic dash and cost conversion, so it costs life instead of mana. I am trialing Resurrection Warcry. I hear it's really good. It seems okay with Lion's Roar and Armor Infusion. Again, cost conversion, so it costs life instead of mana. Frost Shield. The build guide had... what did it have? Had Safeguard Ring, which the radius is on top of you, so unless you're just using this for the barrier, I don't see the point of it. Frost Shield, you just pop and keep running around. It gives you 50% additional physical and fire damage, minus 50% fire damage and physical taken for 3 seconds. And you can use that every 5 seconds. Frost Spirit for the mana regen. And with this build, mana regen is life regen with mark, so you're marking your enemies. Fearless with weapon amp. And auto defense with delayed pain and protection field. So that's the build. Now, you can do Path of the Brave 1 and 2 with this build. It's not quick. It's not exciting. However, it is a consistent way of getting currency. This isn't a mapping build. It's quite slow for mapping. It's quite clunky for mapping. But yeah, so Path of the Brave 1 costs less than 1 Flame Elementium. Takes me 2 to 3 minutes to run. Lost Secrets, that's 1.3 Flame Elementium. So that's already paid for the Proof of the Brave. I'll pause when I get another okay item or I die. Dragon Shield, garbage. Alrighty, so that's the end of Path of the Brave 1. So I got 2.3 Flame Elementium, or 2.6 Flame Elementium worth of drops. Died to stupidity at the end. However, I don't care about XP anymore. I hit 95, so I don't care about XP anymore. Let's have a look at the cost of Proof of the Brave 2s. Price check. 3 Flame Elementium each, so you could just sell the 2s and call it a day. However, 2s are only a tiny bit harder than 1s, and if you have this garbage gear, I should really replace this because this is actual dog shit. I'll do Proof of the Brave 2 again. This is a really good change. It's also annoying. Before, if you died after the boss died and you didn't loot the proof, you just lost it. Now you can go back in and get it. However, it stays open the whole time. So on to Proof of the Brave 2. This is where Frost Shield is really good. Oh, that's another change. They've added the Affliction puddle underneath you, so it's a lot harder to just stand in the middle and spam your abilities, because the Affliction puddle builds up and eventually you die. If your gear is good enough to even just stand there. My gear is definitely not. If I had 5,000 life, maybe, with a bunch more regen. I'm getting pretty unlucky this round. Previously, Path of Brave 2s drop a lot more Flame Elementium. I was getting about 4 Flame Elementium average per Proof of the Brave 2 last night. However, so far we have none. Antonius' Help, which is a level 21 support item. If you get lucky and get a decent one, then you can make a fair bit of currency. Secrets of the Glacial Abyss is a memory card hand-in that gives you... I'm going to die. Nope. That gives you a random 5 flame fuel. Excuse me. Witch Doctor's Herb Bag. I have no idea what that is. Another addition this league is picking stuff up with a button. Mine is linked to A. So you just run near it, press A, and it picks up the loot, which is really nice. I wanted to showcase this one to show how good the loot is in 2s, and I'm getting nothing, which is completely fine, because not everything can be perfect, and I'm not going to record all day for this one super good one to artificially inflate how good the drops are. So this has been relatively okay. This is a pretty safe boss. All you got to do, excuse me, is cycle around him. His ability that can kill you is coming up. This one always runs clockwise, so you just cycle around him easy. Hopefully he drops something to make this even better. However, we'll just have to wait and see. Incinerate this unbeliever. Getting caught on your minions is pretty annoying, but just also means that abilities can get caught on the minions too. Lost Secrets, it's good. Breath of Brave, those two are garbage. And yeah, so for a consistent amount of currency, you do Proof the Brave and die a lot. However, as long as you pass it, who cares? Proof the Brave 3. Sold a bunch last night. Or a bunch. I sold 9 last night. For 3.87 each. As you can see, these are all minor listings. And then the major listing is at 4. So as long as you're listing under 4 per, they should sell. So it takes me about 3 minutes to do a Proof of the Brave 1, about 4 minutes or 5 minutes to do a Proof of the Brave 2, and then I sell the 3s because I tried a 3, it took about 25 minutes and I failed, which is pretty much in line with Season 2 before you get all the gear. I'm going to look at improving my gear a bit. The other thing that you have that's new is Slate of the New God. None of mine are good. You get these are just passives on your tree. Ideally, I want more sealed mana for aura skills so I can have another aura. This is probably my best one, honestly. The rest aren't great. However, it's very RNG. When you're branding, I had a item, it was probably this item, and I had 5 crafts left, or 6 crafts left, and it's a 50% chance to add the last affix, and I got nothing. So I failed a 50% 6 times in a row. And that happened multiple times. So, yeah. That's pretty much enough crapping on. I'm going to see how much currency I make from the last... I'll probably do 8 and then I'll put all the currency away and see what we get from 50 Proof the Brave as a test. And yeah, thanks very much for watching. If you watched this far, like, subscribe, and all that jazz. Cheers.